1835. Early morning fog drifts over the remote coastline of San Nicolas Island in the Pacific Ocean. Wide aerial shot reveals a long, wind-carved island surrounded by restless gray waves and thick kelp forests. The cold ocean wind bends low coastal vegetation. Camera slowly pans toward a small wooden schooner anchored offshore while frightened Nicoleno villagers gather along the rocky beach. Men wear woven fiber garments and sealskin coverings typical of early 19th century coastal tribes. Spanish missionaries and sailors in weathered 1800s maritime clothing shout instructions while waves crash against the shore. The mood is tense and uncertain as people hurriedly board the small boats under darkening storm clouds. Late afternoon storm clouds gather over San Nicolas Island in 1835. Medium tracking shot follows the chaotic evacuation on the rocky beach as Nicoleno villagers scramble toward small boats heading for the schooner offshore. Strong ocean wind whips clothing and sends sand across the ground. Close-up of a lone Nicoleno woman standing slightly apart, wearing feathered clothing and sealskin layers stitched with sinew. Her dark hair moves in the wind while waves crash behind her. Sailors in worn naval coats shout over the storm. Camera slowly pulls back to a wide shot as the ship departs into rough seas, leaving the woman alone on the windswept shoreline as twilight falls. Early morning light spreads across San Nicolas Island, months after the ship's departure. Wide landscape shot shows empty beaches, jagged cliffs, and rolling ocean fog moving across the island. The lone woman walks along the shoreline gathering driftwood and shells. She wears handcrafted feather clothing and carries simple woven containers. Camera follows from behind in a slow tracking shot as seabirds circle overhead and seals rest on distant rocks. The wind produces a constant low howl across the island's grassy terrain. The mood is quiet and isolating, emphasizing the vast distance between the woman and the distant mainland hidden beyond the horizon. Midday, under a pale coastal sky, the woman constructs shelter using the rib bones of a massive beached whale. Medium shot shows her lifting driftwood and arranging bones into a curved frame. Camera slowly circles the structure, revealing careful construction techniques. She ties grasses and plant fibers across the ribs to form walls, while wind pushes clouds rapidly overhead. A close-up reveals stone tools and bone needles used for shaping materials. Her clothing is stitched from feathers and sealskins, historically accurate to Nicoleno craftsmanship. The mood is determined and practical as survival skills passed through generations are used to create protection from the relentless ocean wind. Golden sunset light spreads across tidal pools along the island shore. Wide shot shows waves gently rolling across kelp forests offshore while seabirds dive for fish. The woman kneels at the waterline harvesting abalone and shellfish from rocks using a sharpened stone tool. Camera shifts to a close-up of her hands, carefully placing food into a woven basket container. Her feathered cloak moves softly in the wind, while seals bark from nearby rocks. The atmosphere is calm, but solitary. The lighting emphasizes the orange glow of sunset, reflecting on wet stones and ocean water as she continues gathering food alone. Night falls over San Nicolas Island, beneath a clear sky filled with stars. Wide shot shows the whalebone shelter illuminated by a small fire burning beside it. The woman sits near the flames, sewing feathers together with a bone needle and sinew thread. Camera slowly moves closer in a gentle dolly shot, revealing careful stitching techniques. The cold ocean wind rustles dry grasses around the shelter. Her expression is calm but distant as she quietly sings traditional songs remembered from her people. The mood is reflective and deeply quiet, emphasizing the emotional weight of complete isolation beneath the vast night sky. Several years later, a storm batters the island during a gray afternoon. Powerful wind bends vegetation nearly flat, while waves crash violently against steep cliffs. Wide shot shows the woman reinforcing her shelter with additional driftwood and grasses. Camera shakes slightly to simulate strong wind while rain lashes across the landscape. Close-up shows her face focused and determined as she secures bindings made from plant fibers. Her feather clothing is layered beneath sealskins for warmth. The environment appears harsh and relentless, demonstrating the constant effort required to survive in the exposed coastal climate. Early morning mist covers the island as the woman walks along the beach carrying a wooden spear used for hunting seabirds and small animals. Tracking shot follows her footsteps across damp sand while seabirds fly overhead. She pauses near a rocky outcrop where seals rest in the distance. Camera shifts to a wide coastal shot showing the immense emptiness of the island landscape. The sky remains pale gray, while fog drifts across cliffs and kelp forests offshore. The mood is quiet and patient as she carefully studies the environment that has become her only source of survival. Summer afternoon, sunlight brightens the coastline years into her isolation. The woman stands beside her whalebone shelter, drying strips of fish and seal meat on wooden racks. Camera slowly pans across carefully arranged tools, including stone blades, bone needles, woven baskets, and water containers. Her clothing now shows layers of repaired feathers and skins, demonstrating years of careful maintenance. Seabirds circle above, while the ocean glows bright blue in the background. The atmosphere is calm but repetitive, capturing the steady routines required for long-term survival without any human contact. 1853, late afternoon sunlight illuminates San Nicolas Island as a small hunting vessel approaches the shore. Wide aerial shot shows the boat cutting through calm water toward the isolated island. On the beach, the woman stands watching cautiously from a distance. Camera slowly zooms toward her figure while sailors in mid-19th century maritime clothing step onto the shore, exploring abandoned shelters and tools. As evening approaches, she carefully walks toward them, holding roasted wild onions as a peaceful offering. The mood shifts from tension to cautious curiosity as the first human contact in nearly 2 decades finally occurs.